Okay, so we are in here and we're gonna start this. This just gives us an extra layer to be able to get this thing out here more. All right, y'all bear with me. I gotta find me another thing because this ain't working. This shit here ain't working here, man. I might hold this motherfucker. It ain't working. Okay, okay, that's better. All right, y'all ready? All right, here we go. Without a shadow of a doubt, we back once again. The hottest talk show in social media history. The War Zone. I got my good friend Elvante Patton, Dr. Candace Matthews, and I'm the five-star general. You know how we do, man. We keep it 100. We keep it real at all times. And we don't bar no flex. So if you in our line of fire, you might get hit. You know what I'm talking about? I think it's time just to go on and crank it up. Hey, man, what's going on? We live in the War Zone. We live in the War Zone. My good friend Elvante Patton is in the building. Dr. Candace Matthews is in the building. And the five-star general, the Black Howard Stern, is in the building. Y'all already know what it is, man. We're going to talk about a few different issues. And then we're going to let you know who our guest going to be tomorrow night. I think y'all going to really enjoy that. Um, for those out there that think that the War Zone is not a true talk show, man, you don't even understand it. The internet done took over the world. Social media is taking over the world. We have a different way of getting the information out to you. And I watch my friend all day, Dr. Matthews, give him hell, holding people accountable. You know, give them hell. Elvante been working on new guests all day long. I've been in the bed. I've been drinking orange juice and sodas, and I've been in the bed because the corona ain't gonna get me. And that's what it is. Elvante, holler at your people, man.
So look, check it out, you guys. Of course, we back again. We're excited to give you some new information from your elected officials. Candace Matthews, Dr. Candace Matthews got some updates for you guys. Monroe just got off of a phone call that's probably going to rock the world. We got a special guest that's going to come tomorrow that I've been working on, not just all day today, for probably about a week now to make sure our schedules fit with each other. And just to show you guys that we are serious, we're bringing on some people that most talk shows have to fight to bring on, and we're able to bring them on live with us. So, Monroe, that's pretty much the update I have right now.
You can do it. You pulled it off.
So we're gonna have Preach from the hit show, the hit Netflix series, All American. We got the gangster. He's coming on to the show. Also for a little older people, he played Easy E. So Mr. Grims will be on the show. Kareem Grims will be on the show. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for sure, for sure.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I watched All American. I locked in on it last season and I watched it. And then this season popped up, on Netflix. And I watched the whole season in 2 days. That's how good this show is, All American. If you've never seen it, you need to go watch it on Netflix. But, I can relate to Preacher's character, because straight gangster, man. I'm loving it. And he keep it 100. And that little girl just kind of kept him in the middle of things all the time, man, But Preach was one of those dudes in the hood that kept it 100. It's an honor to have Kareem Grimm on the show tomorrow night. So for those that think we don't have a real talk show, you crazy. You crazy, man. We didn't have boxing champions. Now we got actors. We got people coming from all over the country want to be on the show. So tomorrow night, man, we're going to have some fun. I think you're right. I got a disturbing phone call. good friend of mine that's you know, get a you know, the stuff that knock you out before you go through surgery in the hospital. And y'all were I got the call while we were setting up to do this, and had been at Methodist for 6 years, no write-ups, no nothing, had to resign. Had to resign. This happened yesterday. And the reason why is because somebody came in, and you normally check their charts and for blood work. And she checked the charts and saw that this person may have had COVID-19. So she told the nurse in charge that she wanted an extra layer of protection. Well, of course they weren't gonna give her that. And she said, "Well, I'm not doing it. You know, this is a single mom. You know, and she basically had to resign her position because they would not allow her to wear an extra layer of protection to deal with this COVID-19 thing in the hospital." It just goes to show that, you know, everybody want to talk about first responders and police and firefighters, but these people in these hospitals are putting their lives on the line, and these people don't even have the personal protective equipment that they need to reassure them that they're going to be safe dealing with this coronavirus. So y'all give me some input, because I know how hard she worked. You know, never missed a day of work. Never missed a day of work. Not one write up in her file, and they shit on her.
I think it's his course, especially
Dr.
in the,
Matthews, jump in while he come back on.
I think that that's unethical. I think that it's it's really horrid in order for you to do someone like that, because they challenged your authority. So therefore, you want to turn around and be like, "Fuck your ass! You either gonna do what we say, or that's it." No, I'm not okay with that at all. And so I think that it's disheartening and it's unfortunate for you to do that to one of these first responders. They need their ass whooped for that shit.
I think this is my opinion. You know, they coming up with this extra pay, you know, extra $2, you know, extra $3. Man, fuck all that, man. Y'all got plenty of money, man. You want the people in there, you need to give them hazardous pay, man. What about an extra 200-300 a day? You know, because they putting their lives on the line. And I hope the mayor, who likes giving out proclamations, you know, finds a way to give out thousands of proclamations when this is over to those people that worked in those hospitals.
What mayor are you talking about?
Uh, the one that on any given day we don't know what his sexuality is.
Okay, well then let me say this shit while we talking about him. Um, I was a little bit disturbed on. I had a constituent. I'm always having constituents reaching out to me. So I was there with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, with the fourth site that was open for the COVID-19 over at Forest Brook Middle School, right? So I
Yeah,
had a constituent that reached out to me the night prior, and they had illegal trash dumpings that was right there by Forest Brook Middle School. So I reached out to Jeff, the same Jeff who will run around and say that I'm giving inaccurate information. Okay, I got some accurate information for your ass. Who gonna come over here and clean this shit up? Because we got a press conference tomorrow. See what I'm saying?
did they even clean it up?
I got a problem with that shit.
Did
And
they clean it up?
no. Since we're gonna talk about some accountability shit, you want me to go on and get down real quick?
Hold
You
on,
want
let me say something about that. Let me
All
say
right,
something
go ahead.
about that.
Go
That
ahead.
is the same district that Jared Davis is over. Am I correct?
That motherfucker was there today too, looking a mess.
Looking a mess, but the community looking a mess while he's there, and nobody does anything. See, I'm gonna tell you something. Before he got out of office, we would have some of those issues in District D when Dwight Boykins was a city council person. But I could call Boykins, and in less than 30 minutes, he had them trucks out there getting that stuff up, man.
And I can attest to that. I actually like Dwight.
And Jared Davis is an embarrassment. He don't do shit for the community. He really doesn't care because he doesn't live in the community.
Oh, he was scared when he seen me up there. He turned all the way around because baby, you ain't want no smoke today because I would have let your ass have it at that damn conference. For real.
Bunte, you saw the videos and the pictures that she posted?
I did.
What you think?
I think it's a city issue that truly needs to be addressed because it's not just in those particular communities, but it's also in our community over here in District D as well, that you have a lot of illegal dumping that people are not paying attention to. And I'm not going to blame the city councilman per se, but I will blame the residents for allowing it to stay there.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me go on and correct you right quick. The city ain't had nothing to do with that shit.
No. I'm saying, prime example, it was a lot, about 2 or 3 months ago, I called Monroe for us to get the city to come cut a lot that needed to be cut for like 2 months. It eventually got done. But what I'm saying is, if we don't notify them to fix the issue, they might not have never saw the issue. I can't say that they knew that there was an issue until we called, but I believe that we have to continue to hold them accountable to make sure that trash or whatever is picked up ASAP.
I feel a little bit different on that one because in the affluent neighborhoods, shit, ain't nobody calling, they just get it done. So why we gotta always make the extra call when you especially when you got at large city council people, they cover the whole city. You see what I'm saying? So I think that it's just because it's the black area and they don't give a damn, man.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this here. I had certain folks. See, let me tell y'all what they gotta understand. That's why I took a different approach with what I did today. Okay, because I am not going to go behind closed doors to let a politician, you got some deficiencies. I'm going to blast your ass out that you got some deficiencies. Then I'm going to let the constituents know that I've reached out to your camp. Then I'm going to let the constituents know if you corrected the problem or not. See,
no,
that's what's going on.
You did the right thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you did the wrong thing. I believe that you did the right thing by holding them accountable. However, I just believe that if we see a problem, call a problem out. Don't just sit there and allow the problem to sit there and then get upset. And I'm speaking about us as community members as a whole. If you see a problem, point a problem out.
When the last time you've been to a city council meeting, Avante?
The other day when it was online.
Okay, well, maybe one day you ought to go in in person and when we can get past all this. You have African American citizens from several neighborhoods all across the city that's constantly in City Hall complaining about illegal dumping. See, it's not us dumping this shit. It's called illegal dumping. Somebody's bringing this shit to our neighborhoods and they know about it and they won't do shit about it.
So wait a minute. Make sure real quick that we just not addressing the city, also the damn county, because who I put on blast today was Commissioner Rodney Ellis.
He stay in trouble.
So let's talk about the legality behind it and what our citizens can do to stop this. It is definitely illegal to dump. There is a law where if you take a person's license plate and give it to your state rep or your U.S. senator, you can send that over to them and they can trace that truck or that vehicle down.
I'm gonna tell you something, Avante. That's the textbook way.
I'm just wait. I'm just showing what they can do.
See, you got to bring up an air of unpredictability with folk. You see what I'm saying? Because the traditional textbook way ain't gonna get shit done. Not no discredit to you, Avante. However, when you turn around and you let these constituents know and blast their ass of what they not doing, video ain't gonna lie. Writing a letter, I can write a letter all day long, but a video is worth 1,000 words.
I mean, even if why don't we take a bag of garbage? Look, man, I like an old school protest by 3 a.m. Go get the garbage out your kitchen. We ain't gonna throw it on their lawn. Let's do an old school protest in front of whoever that that elected official's house is with the motherfucking garbage bags. And let's remind them, you need to pick this shit up in our neighborhoods, man.
Let me know when.
They know I do it. I don't give a damn.
But I'm gonna tell you another thing really too, y'all. Okay. Also, while I was at the thing with Congresswoman Lee today, I talked with the liaison who I was giving hell to for Rodney. I let him know that it wasn't nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? I'm for the community, and that's just what it is. I say, so remember I told you I'm going to all of these parks that he's responsible for, right? So I say, so you telling me y'all took care of that stuff at Barbara Jordan Park? And I say, so, and then I asked him, I said, so the actual multi-purpose center port is closed, right? He's like, yeah, it's closed. Why over there, that motherfucker wide open?
Because they'll tell you whatever they want to tell you at the time to just ease your mind. They don't give a damn. They'll tell you anything.
And see, I'm not no ease your mind kind of woman. Okay? I'm going to go and verify the shit. I went over there.
Okay. So here's the thing. This is how this normally works, especially in my work.
Come on,
you made them aware. They lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
So what you going to do about it?
I already did it. And I'm not done. Because guess what? When I went over there, y'all, I had my N95 mask on my face, right? A person can pass gas and that smell ain't coming through there. That pee smell in there was so horrid, and you could tell it's been in there for so long, it went through the mask, y'all.
So what did you do about it?
Huh?
What did you do about it?
First of all, I exposed it, and then I turned around and exposed it to them and gave them a timeline when y'all gonna get this done.
So did it get done?
Then check this out. Then I went in about employees working for y'all, and they don't have right? None to protect them from getting this damn virus. As we know, this virus can sit on surfaces for 72 hours. So this dude on the tractor, somebody else could have actually been a carrier of that disease and had it all on the damn tractor and on the handles and shit.
But it takes me back to what I was asking. Did it get done?
Did they do it?
Did they get it done? Did they fix the problem?
They only did half of the problem, not all of
it. So what's your plan?
I ain't finna tell you because I ain't finna let them prepare for it. Just know it's a plan and it's unorthodox.
So we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and being clean and sanitized in certain areas is mandatory. They go over there and they fix half the problem. Well, you're better than me. That's all I can say. You're nicer than me. Because I don't give you 2-3 days to fix a fucking problem. You're going to fix it now.
Mm-hmm.
You got my tax money. I need you to fix it now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the approach that we need to take with these people. I think the workers will do whatever they're required to do. And you got to think about it. If this is happening in a lot of different places, somebody's telling them, don't worry about it. It ain't important.
Mm. I had people respond on my post saying, what's the purpose of this post and stuff? And you know me.
Let's talk about that, because you're holding people accountable, which you have been for years, but you've done it silently. So now you're being vocal. And Elvante, I want you to really chime in on this. Why is it a problem with Black people when folk decide to hold elected officials accountable in public?
Because number one, African Americans especially don't like to be held accountable, no matter if they hold a title or not. So now that they hold a title, they feel like they're entitled to do whatever the heck they want to do, rather than allow someone to hold them accountable. The second part is, I believe, this is me in my opinion, I believe that Dr. Matthews happened to be a woman, a well-educated woman, and a lot of men are threatened by that. So that's my personal opinion. But if you're doing right, you wouldn't have to worry about her holding you accountable.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I looked at some of the comments that dudes was making on her page, and why are you doing this, man? Why the fuck you even care? What, nobody doing it before she started? She is on her side of town. I'm on my side of town. See, on my side of town, we rock a little bit different. You don't know what the hell I'm gonna do when you don't do something. You don't know what I'm gonna say. You don't know what I'm gonna do but you know goddamn well it's finna be some heat behind it. So normally when I call my elected officials, you know, they jump on it, man, because I mean, I don't want no smoke with them, but they know one thing, they don't want no motherfucking smoke with me. So I just get sick of these Negroes that every time you try to, you know, put an elected official in their fucking place, they got a problem with it. And I just think it's they frat brothers and they sorrows.
I told my students before the lockdown even happened that the world that we once knew before we walked in the house before being quarantined would not be the same world we walk out to once we're allowed outside. I believe it's a new day in leadership. It's a new day in politics. Yes, we might be stuck with these same elected officials, but they're being held accountable like never before. And this is probably something that was not expecting. So for me, I'm happy to see people holding our elected officials truly accountable. So at this point, I don't care how they feel. So sometimes in order to pull the best out of somebody, you got to make them real uncomfortable. And that's just the way it is. And for me, I don't like the fact that we have some elected officials feeling like their staffers can do the talking for them. Because sometimes we need to hear from the politician and not the staffer. Because when it's really all said and done, that staffer ain't the one passing that bill. That staffer ain't the one sending down, hey, get this done. We want to talk to the person that walked into that organization to get that endorsement. Because that staffer didn't answer those questions. We didn't endorse the staffer.
Well, I'm gonna just say this here for the good doctor, so she'll know. People are commenting on several different formats right now, and if y'all got a problem with this here, man, we ain't got no problem pulling up, homeboy. Disrespect the good doctor, we can pull up, and ain't gonna be no conversations when we pull up. You're gonna be singing the remix to The Thrill Is Gone.
Well, I tell
You're
you
gonna
this,
be singing The Grill Is Gone.
let me tell you something. The goons was on standby at the conference today. And I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm just gonna be 100 about it. My thing is, you can't get mad for something that you're not doing and somebody calling you out on it. Fix the shit and let's move on.
But
Simple.
Matthew, there's only one true, I'm gonna say, gangster that happens to be an elected official that's African American in Houston, and that's really about that life. So I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want to tip anybody. You know who it is.
Who is that?
Who?
You know exactly who it is.
Yeah, we call names on this show, man. Who is that?
Run the name.
So for me, I'm gonna say, in my opinion, the only true gangster that we have out there is Boris Miles. And Boris Miles is about that life, and we know that. Like, come on, call spade a spade. Now he might do some questionable things, but he ain't gonna bar none, and y'all know that.
Let me tell
Pull
you
that pistol. He quit to pull that pistol.
All right, and he ain't barring none from nobody, and y'all know that.
me and Boris, we have a real good relationship, and he respects me because I cussed his motherfucking ass out in his own office. He know I put foot the ass on any motherfucker.
Well,
But
I tell you, he's actually my senator, and I don't have an issue with the senator. We actually work well together. We get along well together. And you know, normally if you go to Boris with an issue, Boris, he takes it.
But hold on though. It's how you communicate with Boris. There's a difference. You have to know how to communicate with him. Because if you don't communicate properly, he will put you in your place. We done seen several people get put in their place. So let's not speak about personal experiences with Boris, because when it's all said and done, he bars none. And we know that. And he's the only one that I can say that would do it. Now, hold on. Now, Harold Dutton, he will get on Facebook and bang on you, but I never seen him do it in person.
Harold too smooth, bro. Let me tell you something. Boris, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be quiet real quick. Boris, let me tell you something. Senator Miles, that's my boy. Okay. And Senator Miles, one thing that he said about me, that he loved about me so much, I don't have an issue putting foot the ass to no motherfucker. And that's what he like about me. He respect people who stand up to him and they about your shit when you doing it. If you stand up to him and you ain't about your shit, then you lose our respect and he gonna handle you any way you want to.
Well, I'm gonna say this here, and then we're gonna go to the next subject.
All right.
For all them politicians out there, because you got a few of them like to try to check people. That's called a PC move, a protective custody move. Some of these people get to running their mouth because they know the police in the room.
Yeah.
They know the police in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but like I say, whether it's personal, I just watch. Boris Miles is my senator. Man, dude work hard. I love him and Ron Reynolds. That's why anybody attack them two cats, I got something to say about it.
Got something
See,
hot.
you know what I'm saying?
And
But let's
he gonna give to the community more than he gives to himself.
yeah, he come with more than just a turkey.
Boris makes moves while he highs, man, and he so he don't get sick. He making moves from the highs. What about these other elected officials who ain't doing a
we can talk about accountability on that level. Let's go to the next subject. It's an issue, and I understand why it's being done. Everybody up in an uproar because the churches are being allowed to go back to church Sunday. Now I'm gonna tell you like this here: if you're trying to get closer to God and you're trying to get to the upper room, then take your ass to church Sunday. Because if you think the corona ain't gonna come inside your goddamn church, then take your ass to church Sunday. And people like, why are they doing this? Why are they on the central list? Go check campaign finance reports of these elected officials, and then you will see where some of them get their fucking money from and why they need them churches open.
So I'm gonna call some pastors out in a few minutes about that too. But we also got to remember, see, a lot of us don't know government anymore because civics and government is no longer in schools. So some of us wasn't taught civics and government. Well, I was taught civics in school. However, we have to remember there's a separation between what? Church and state. So these pastors are asking the government right now to be bailed out because some of them are not going to be able to afford to keep the doors open after all of this, right? So the government basically saying, y'all can be essential if y'all want to go out there and get it yourself because we're not going to give y'all a dime to operate from the government.
Now, trying to get to heaven was free.
Now, if you're a government, now you have to think, if you're a pastor and you take this money from the government, they will control everything that you got going on. So be careful taking any money from the government because there is a separation between church and state.
Okay, well, watch this here. I think the issue with the pastors complaining about the churches being open, separation of Negroes and tithes.
No, but you have to remember.
It's about money, man.
No, I agree. But the issue wasn't brought up by an African-American preacher. It was brought up by a white man. A white preacher said, we're going to go to church. And it trickled down from there. It didn't stem from the black folks. It stemmed from the white man.
Man, let me tell you like this here, man. Let me tell you like this here. If you think that a black elected official ain't getting this little money out that collection plate, out them black churches, and behind the scenes, the white man spoke up first. But them black pastors training,
dude. The slate, what's his name?
Who?
The preacher.
Which one?
They'll be out there working the poles and everything. What's his name?
I mean, it's several.
No, it's one main one though. I can't even think of his name right now.
What he look like?
Willie Davis. I mean, it's okay. Make your point though, because we can't figure that out.
What the problem is when they start getting involved because of so many members are so uneducated and they're looking at these pastors as, I don't want to say a god. Let's not say a god, but in the form of a god, and they listen to their every word, but not realizing that they pad their pockets because people are paying them to be endorsed by them. That's an issue in the African American community that needs to be addressed.
Look, man, I'm gonna be straight up with you. Them Negroes ain't making them white folk that's running these churches.
Max Miller.
Okay, but here's my thing. Why is it? And I get confused because I'm just a sinner in training. I'm a sinner in training. I thought trying to get to heaven was free. These motherfuckers want them tithes, man. And they ain't getting that change right now, man.
But
they worse than a motherfucking stripper having a relapse because she can't get to the pole right now.
So for the people that's watching, I'm gonna help educate you a little bit on tithes. In the Bible, see, a lot of us just take the word of the preacher and don't go look for ourselves. Tithes can also be your talents, what you bring into God as your tenth, not just your money, but your talent as well. So one thing is, you don't have to pay the church all your money or your 10% of your earnings of your paycheck. You can be paying them through your tithe of your talent. You can bring forth a talent. So my thing is, yes, it could be about money, but at this time, I don't think too many of our people got money like that.
Well, I tell you what, if you're trying to get to the upper room, take your ass to church Sunday. As long as you have a relationship with God, it doesn't matter where you worship. But if you're trying to get to the upper room, take your ass to church Sunday. Now, I want to ask y'all this here. You know, I know this week a doggo let motherfuckers out of jail. Supposed to have been folks with non-violent crimes. But now we see they've let some motherfuckers, you let some bad actors out of jail with bails as low as $10.
What up?
Man, y'all talk to me, man.
I got a couple cousins she let out.
The jackals is on the loose.
Look here, I wouldn't have let neither one of them jokers out for nothing.
The jackals are on the loose, man. How you let some violent crime motherfuckers out of jail with a bail for $10?
Get ready for the purge.
Because listen, let me tell y'all something. I believe that yes, it's wrong, but I believe in dollars and cents. If you start following the money, it's cheaper to have these people on the streets than it is to have them in them jails right now.
No. Hold on a second, man. It's okay if, see, that's where this bail reform and justice reform shit get fucked off.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, if you got a misdemeanor weed charge right now, let him out of jail. If he in there on the 180-day sentence for child support, let him out of jail.
Right.
If you in there for aggravated robbery, sit your ass in there and pray to God you don't go to the upper room. But these the motherfuckers they letting out of jail for $10, man.
Right.
Chicago is stupid.
Because let me tell you something. You let a couple of my cousins out, I wouldn't let them buy for a piece of chicken. Yes.
And then you got the fucking mayor talking about telling the criminals just chill. That must have been his feminine side saying that.
Wait. That was an epic fail. I'm sorry. That was an epic fail. Like you telling.
Oh, but you don't understand. See, I'm out in them streets, and I deal with these youngsters in the streets. So you gonna let these youngsters out in the streets, and now you ain't gonna. Your cops scared to even fuck with anybody because of the coronavirus. They ain't really fucking with nobody, and I give them that. So now these motherfuckers finna hit these streets like gladiators. They finna go to gladiator school in these streets, man.
It's a war zone.
You know, somebody been in jail for DWI, man, let them out, man. But motherfuckers out here killing and raping and robbing and hold on, man, $10 bail. It's a whole bunch of elected officials need to go. In Hidalgo, your county judge need to be in the front of the goddamn line.
She need to go back to law school.
No, she need to go back wherever the fuck they found her at and groomed her to be whatever she is. Take your ass back there.
And that means she was on her way to go to law school. That's where she need to be.
Cause she is fucking up right now, man. That's a fucked up move right now, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's a major league fucked up move. Now I can't be mad at the police chief who got to deal with this. You know, I can't be mad at the police union president who has a problem with this, because you really endangered certain neighborhoods. You really endangered certain neighborhoods. And I'm gonna jump back into this. Errol Jones said, and then we'll just go on to the next subject. He said churches need to collect tithes and offerings. There's no free rent, electricity, and wages. Let me tell you something, Errol. I got love for you. Man, fuck them dudes right now, man. They don't do shit for the hood anyway. Don't put people's lives in danger because you're just trying to get some money in the bucket on the Sunday, man. And the folks that ain't checking them, that's allowing these restaurants to have all these long ass lines right now, check the campaign finance reports of your local officials, and then you will see why certain people are getting fucking passes right now. You'll see that. You'll see that. And I'm gonna leave that alone. Today, I posted a video of Ruben, former constable, precinct 2, Fort Bend, former constable Ruben Davis's wife. And at the time, and I actually spoke to her. At the time I'm speaking to her, the constable that's there now, Daryl Smith, has looked like an excess amount of cars, patrol cars coming by our house with the intimidation factor thing. Daryl, you don't scare nobody, bro. You don't scare nobody, man. I even posted a video of him disrespecting an elderly person at the polls back in February. You see what I'm saying? And this the type of dude that wants to be the elected official as a constable in Fort Bend County, but yet you out there and you steady disrespecting them women, dog. You a bitch. Speak on it.
He got the right come at me, player. You got the right motherfucker. You come at me, player, because I'm gonna keep putting your shit out. I'm gonna come to Fort Bend and dare your motherfucking ass to tell me something. Cause them goons gonna be at your goddamn door.
The man actually sent word to the lady and told her she would be dancing on her husband's grave before he would lose. Well, nigga, I hope you got your dancing shoes on. Cause you finna be dancing somewhere other than the Fort Bend County Precinct 2 constable's office.
Well,
That is highly disrespectful. And to try to intimidate the widow of one of the best constables in any precinct to ever do the job is just downright disrespectful. Talk to us about what you got in your hand.
Woo! Baby, let me go and put my specs on. Talk about this chump. Let me go ahead and enlighten the
Talk to us. Come on with it.
chump. Okay. He violated the Attorney General ruling of L097-112. This chump has his name on a precinct vehicle.
You got a picture of the vehicle? Scoot over a little bit. Let us see. Oh, okay. So when we say something, we got receipts.
With the law that he violated.
So that's a violation of the law.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Okay. Then, Daryl Smith allegedly hired employees against county nepotism law. He has his full name on the side of the vehicle.
Okay.
That ain't allegedly.
All right. Okay. Let's come on with some more.
Daryl Smith was employed by Missouri City Police Department and did not resign or retire since taking office in January of 2019. His hours with the Missouri City Police Department are day shift and then reports to the county as the constable. After he has finished his tour of duty with Missouri City, so he says, is he doing a disservice to the constituents of Fort Bend County Precinct 2 or even committing a crime, which is double dipping? You can't be at two places at one time. That's falsifying a government document, and that's a second-degree felony.
So hold on a second. Break that down for the people, what you just said.
So allegedly what's going on, when he got in the office, he have not resigned from the Missouri City Police Department, nor did he retire. This dude is supposedly getting double dipping money from Fort Bend, Harris County Precinct 2, and Missouri City Police Department.
So you telling me that the current constable in Precinct 2, Daryl Smith, is still on the books as a Missouri City police officer?
Yes, sir.
Let me say this here because I can only say it one way. You out your motherfucking mind, man. Elvante, you need to be in. Come on, we need to hear from you on these things.
No, I feel like it's wrong because if it was me, I'd be dead wrong. So they'd definitely incriminate me if it was me. So my thing is, he need to be held accountable. If he broke the law, he broke the law. Hey, don't you see me talking?
So basically, he needs to resign from one or two of them, but he still broke the law.
Oh yeah.
He broke the law. That's the same.
He's a constable and a police officer.
Yes, at the same time. You
Wow.
want to continue?
Keep going.
Okay. And he's allowing employees to take home vehicles, which is against county policy. In order to have a take home vehicle, you must live in the county. These employees are also using these county owned vehicles for personal use to work extra jobs for employment, which is against the county policy, allegedly.
Yeah, he needs to be a full investigation.
Oh, it's more. Y'all ready?
Keep going.
Y'all got your seatbelt on?
Let's go.
Also, hired a convicted felon who he knows, sworn the convicted felon in as a corporal. Also, there was a report done by the Texas Rangers of sexual assault of a minor that is possibly his family member that DPS has not yet released. You want me to keep going? I got
Keep going. Keep going. Keep
That
put
man-
the nails in the coffin.
He threatened a poll worker, telling him that he would piss on him, bury him, and no one would find him. And the case number is 20-200619 by Missouri City Police Department, which was forwarded to the Texas Rangers to investigate. And yes, they were witnesses.
So here's a question. Are we talking about Constable Daryl Smith or R. Kelly? What type of motherfucker walk around talking about they gonna piss on people?
And here is the Office of the Attorney General of the state of Texas, where it discussed about you putting your personal name on a police vehicle. Complete violation. This is the code that he's completely have violated. You want to see the picture again with his name on it for the people just getting on?
Elvante?
I'm at a loss for words. I just don't believe all this has been able to pass the smell test of any Democratic office because I feel like, man, that is something that should have been caught a long time ago.
And this is the current constable, Precinct 2, Fort Bend County. And I think that people need to understand who the constable was before Daryl Smith. That was the Honorable Reuben Davis, who the community loved, who would break his back for his community. He loved his community. And I happened to live in Fort Bend when Reuben, before he died, and he was the constable over us, and always accessible, never disrespectful. But this dude here, man, I don't know where they found this motherfucker at, but they need to send him back. They need to send him back wherever they found him at, man.
And but I need to research it a little bit more before I unleash that. But that tea right there has been confirmed.
So all that is fact.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. The investigation of sexual assault is fact.
Yes.
and we would even think about voting somebody like that in. So is there anything that you would like to tell the Harris County District Attorney Brian Middleton, who may actually watch it?
County? You mean Fort Bend County?
Yeah, Fort Bend County District Attorney.
DA Brian Middleton, we need to have a conversation. We need to have a serious conversation because we have some serious offenses that is criminal that needs to be addressed. I understand you have an election going on, but this right here cannot wait for that. And I'm holding you accountable to do the right job. So we need to have a meeting so I can bring you these documents.
Wow. Wow. Let's move on to the next subject. I know the kids had to transition from the classroom to online, right? And as far as schooling goes, but I'm hearing, man, I'm getting so many calls that this shit is not working. This shit is not working, and the kids are stressed out. The teachers like they overworking them more online than they actually did in the classroom. Now, Avante, you the teacher, talk to us, man.
All right. So check it out. First thing I want you guys to understand that before this pandemic hit the United States, there was 3 million kids.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Got a comment from somebody named Candy Jackson, which I know is a fake Facebook page, and it says, "Be careful." Fuck you. And let me tell you something, partner. Fuck you. Fuck the constable. Fuck the lady running for sheriff. Ain't none of you bitches put no fear in nobody over here. Now I said that.
Quit breaking the law.
Stop breaking the law, and we wouldn't have to put your ass on blast. But no one motherfucking thing. I don't hide from nobody. You sending threats? You might want to be careful now, motherfucker. Now, I'm sorry, Avante. Now, back to us being dignified again.
We need to have a conversation. We do.
So, as I was stating, there's 3 million kids across the United States that was suffering from the digital divide of the have and the have-nots. So we had 3 million kids across the United States that don't have a computer, don't have Wi-Fi access. As I stated to you guys yesterday, internet in your home is like having running water. It's simple as that. For our kids, if they don't have internet in their house, they don't have running water. And right now we have plenty of kids across Houston that don't have access to a working computer or working internet. And it's almost very difficult for a teacher to actually get online and educate a student that doesn't have the right equipment to go and fight the education fight with. Now, my thing is, this system that we currently have with online education, I'm going to say is not working because the student wasn't truly prepared to work online. So now it's causing anxiety because now we're forcing kids to turn in things on a timeline that they never saw before. So now it's like, all right, I gave you an assignment. I want it by 11:59 p.m. The problem with that is, number one, no kid should be up at 11:59 p.m. trying to do my work and during a pandemic. So
let me say this here. You just touched on something where you say they weren't prepared. And I'm going to just be honest with you. Across America is the same problem.
Yes.
You drop some fucking laptops off at these poor black and brown schools. You gave them kids no instructions on how to use those laptops. So all they doing is watching YouTube, Facebook, Pornhub all motherfucking day.
So
go ahead.
Let me tap into that because you said they dropped off Chromebooks and laptops to black and brown schools. But did you know 75% of those black and brown schools don't even have Wi-Fi within their school to even operate those Chromebooks?
And I understand that, but even if they did have Wi-Fi, if you've never taught them how to navigate the computer, some kids I know at black schools can't even open an email. They don't even know how to do that.
So from my knowledge of being a teacher, number one, teachers aren't trained to educate kids with technology. That's another problem. Until teachers are properly trained with educating the kid to properly use technology to its advantage, we're always going to have this problem. Like I keep telling you guys, this pandemic did not cause an education problem. It just exposed the inequities within education that we've been constantly having that no one wanted to face. And now we have to face it head on. If you guys notice, PEA hasn't said anything about online education or regulations based off of online education. And they're not, because we are in uncharted water that no one knows how to walk through. Now let's talk about the teacher. One thing people fail to understand is teachers have families too. So you want us to work from 7 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the evening, constantly talking to parents, because I have to contact parents 3 times a week. All 77 of my kids have to be contacted 3 times in a week. I have to communicate with my students at least 2 times a week. Let's do the math for that. If I talk to each parent, 77 parents at 3 minutes, you're talking about 4 hours a week just calling parents. Now, on top of that, they forget that I have a family of my own, that my 2 kids are also in school. So I got to teach them on top of teaching 77 other kids. So the demand on a teacher right now is probably beyond stressful. But no one cares about that because they're just teachers, right? Well, we're just teachers. So my thing is, we have to begin to understand the uncharted waters that we're currently in and figure out what do we need to do to move forward.
From an educational standpoint, because I'm an educational advocate. I'm an education advocate. It did expose the fact that they have not prepared black and brown kids for the long haul. They have not prepared them for the next level of education, which is the technology phase that you see. I'm in those schools all the time, and I know. So I would ask every superintendent, from the Grenada Lathams to the Charles Duprees to my man out in Barbers Hill, A.B. Chambers and A-Leaf, let me ask y'all a question. When y'all gonna get on board with educating black and brown kids? Because right now, from what I understand, the kids at the affluent schools, the white schools, the high performing schools, they're not having a problem navigating this shit.
And
and I'm gonna tell you something, the ones that, and I got the emails and the texts and the inboxes right now. Those special ed kids are going through the bullshit right now, man.
Yeah.
They can't, they stuck.
And you know what? My daughter, because she's in the Klein ISD district, baby, they stuff is together. So I'm gonna bring her down here so I can let y'all see how they
but that is one of the schools that's in the affluent areas.
Correct.
You see, but where you come from, that Studewood area, the Booker T's and the North Forests, the Yates, the Words, and all these folks, they're struggling right now.
Correct.
And I'm just using the high school, but we're talking about you trying to give technology. How you educating the middle schoolers and the elementary school kids?
So this is the thing. Like, one thing I want people to understand this, watching this. I'm currently working on my PhD in education. So I traveled to Europe last year to study education worldwide and not just the United States. Number one, when you talk about the Netherlands, they're not having this issue. They've been prepared with technology. And if you look and see who's leading the technology fight, it's not the US. We're led to believe that we're leading in technology. We're not. Germany, the Netherlands, they're leading in technology. And the thing is, America just haven't let their technology come across the water yet. But ultimately, they're leading.
How the fuck we leading when we got 2 donkeys in the front of the fucking line? Pelosi over fucking education and Trump over everything.
But that's what they believe. But my thing is, when I watch those kids perform the way they performed over the Netherlands, ranked 7th in the world in education, we need to stop thinking that we're the best in everything and start taking tips from people and move forward. Because education is no longer going to look like it did before we got into this pandemic.
I say this here, man, especially my special ed babies. I love these kids, man, because they're some of the most creative. Go ahead, Alvante.
Let's not somebody comment talking about the computers in Barbers Hill they've been having since 6th grade. It's a difference between me giving you a computer and telling you just to type on Microsoft Word. That's not using technology. That's just using a Chromebook for everyday use. Technology is basically trying to teach kids how to hook the computer up to a robot to make the robot do what it needs it to do. That's the type of stuff that our kids need to learn, because the workforce right now ain't about sweeping floors anymore, because they're getting robots to do that job. And if our kids don't know how to operate that computer to make that robot move, they're going to be out of a job. So it's not just having a computer, it's how to work technology.
What I was saying was, the special ed kids are being left behind right now. And you have kids in special ed that are nonverbal, that can't talk. You have kids with 504 accommodations, that the accommodations cannot be met. Bottom line is we gotta get this shit right, man.
Okay. I wanted to show you guys a sample. Mommy talking. Hold on. This is what Klein ISD is doing within Schoology. So the teachers put the assignments and everything on this specific laptop. So it's like my child have not left school. Everything is in place here. And then I can go on my cell phone to look to see if she completed the assignment. And if she didn't, it would give me a notification that it wasn't done. So this is Klein ISD laptop, and it turns into a tablet. This is what we got going on.
Okay, that is Klein ISD. And I want you to think about if your child was a senior right now. Klein ISD could graduate your child with a decent education by being able to accomplish that goal. Now in HISD, they're gonna graduate little Johnny them with the bullshit ass diplomas, acting like they did this fucking work online, send them out into the world, and here we go with some more gladiators that may be getting $10 bills.
Right.
For both of you guys, right? I want us to think like this. What if I failed your student during this pandemic?
You better prove how you can make her fail.
And that's my point. That's the problem that teachers are faced with right now. Don't put me in a bind, because some of these kids are not going to be able to access the internet. So why would I even attempt to fail a student based off of them not having the ability to get online to do any work? This is already
I'm a different type of parent. If my child fails because they cannot accomplish the goal academically, then that's something we're gonna deal with.
Correct. And see what Klein
don't push my kid through, and because that's all they've been doing to black kids. And push our kids through there and they don't know shit, man.
I'm not saying from that standpoint. I'm saying from at the end of the day, this is something new for everybody.
Well,
this is new for the students. This is new for teachers as well. If I was to fail your child based off of me not having the ability to teach them where they are, to me, that's a problem on my end, not a problem on the student end.
See, this is what Klein ISD did. They partnered with Comcast. So if you don't have internet in your home, you got it for free now. See, they partnered with Comcast, and then they sent out a mass email. They sent out a mass text messages. So basically, your child don't have no excuse not to do the work because you got free internet.
But what about the kids that don't have that? No.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
I expect for Klein ISD to do that. I expect for Katy ISD, Barbers Hill to do that. But we're talking about an HISD in school districts that are similar to them. Dallas ISD. You see what I'm saying? That will just push these kids through this year and say, fuck them and send them into the world with a pistol in their hand. Because the diploma don't hold no weight.
Not no more like it used to.
You know, I think we need to get us a university president on our show, because they're about to be faced with a challenge like none other, because they're about to get some very unprepared seniors out of high school going to college. And how are they going to adapt to this environment of a university setting when they didn't even finish high school technically?
Well, the false narrative in high school for a lot of people, and they don't realize, especially if you go to a low performance school, that if they fail a test, they can take the test over again. I took a test yesterday. If I'd have failed at motherfucking college, I'd have failed it. You're creating a false narrative because they don't do that shit in college.
You don't.
They don't give a damn if you special ed. They don't do it.
So I'm going to reach out to some university presidents to get on our show to tell us the challenges they are about to face, because there's about to be many challenges arise about, what's the application fees. Example, like, are you going to waive application fees for these students? How are you going to accept these students? They're not taking the STAR test. Is there going to be an entrance exam to get into your school? Because
I think that they would have to waive the TSIs.
Correct.
Yeah, but now you're going to get a lot of students based off of. All right, let's look at this. Right, let's look at. Give me one of the low performance schools. I don't want to pick on those schools, but give me a low performance school.
What in
Wheatley? You said Wheatley, right? Now you're talking about the valedictorian. Well, let's say the number 9 person out of Wheatley now gets to really kind of go to any college they want because their GPA is pretty damn good out of Wheatley. But your child that's sitting over here in this high performing school district is their GPA roughly the 2.5. How are you going to compare the two? You can't say one's weighted more than the other. A GPA is a GPA. So now you're going to have a lot of parents not understanding why my child could not get into this university. Because normally you would say, oh, well, their test scores a little better, so it outweighed their GPA. You're not going to be able to do that this time.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Before all this pandemic stuff, I mean, one of the issues is kids graduating from low performance schools with high GPAs. Oh, I got a 4.0, and they couldn't even pass the fucking TSIs to get into college. They ended up with a bunch of developmental courses when they ended up in college.
About 10 years ago, it was a Yates valedictorian. I'm not just picking on Yates to be picking on Yates.
Put it out there.
Their valedictorian thought, I'm valedictorian. I can go to any state school for free, and they went to UT and they failed out of UT because they thought they was the smartest in Yates, but didn't realize the school that they was going to was out of their league. Sometimes parents got to understand a college is like putting on a shoe. They got to fit the right way. You got to know your education standards to be able to say that you can step into a certain water without, drowning.
But that's why I continuously tell people that the education that you get in River Oaks is not the education you're gonna get in Third Ward. It's not. It's segregation in schools nowadays, and people don't want to accept it because we're in the most diverse city in the country. I don't give a fuck. You ain't educating them in the black community like you're educating them in the affluent white communities. They don't have the resources. They don't have the quality teachers. Man, do you know how important it is to have a qualified teacher in a classroom? Your children, those 77 kids that you got, one, they got a qualified teacher. Two, they have a guy in there that gives a damn about them as a person.
So what can my elected officials do for me? Is that what you asked?
Huh.
So what because we quick to say that a state rep is there only to pass laws and office. Number one, you know what would help my kids more than anything? If you go to one of these convenience stores and ask them to turn on their Wi-Fi as a hotspot for my kids to go do their work at. That's what will help my students.
I don't think we need to even get to that point. I think that we need to understand that every one of these school districts that we are surrounded by, not just HISD, everybody, they're billion-dollar corporations.
Oh, yeah.
Billion-dollar corporations. It's a drop in the fucking bucket to get these kids Wi-Fi.
And they partner.
So what they could do right now, Dr. Candace, you could keep your motherfucking sack lunch you got us picking up every day. And you can give these kids what they really need right now.
Exactly. And I say that to say this. They can clearly get with Comcast or AT&T due to this pandemic and do exactly what Klein did. Partner so these homes can have free internet.
So
I'm
I
gonna
had
ask.
to,
I'm gonna ask one last education question to Elvante.
hold on. Before you ask me that question, I had to go get my receipt.
Okay.
Y'all say you gotta have your proof. I done did a PowerPoint presentation over Starving the Beast 2.0, starving education money wise. And I'm telling you just what I know. I did the research. So my thing is, don't think I'm just sitting up here talking. I'm doing that. Not saying that to y'all. I'm saying that to all of our listeners. That hey, we really do this stuff. This ain't nothing to play with. I really do it. But go ahead, Mr. Monroe. What was your question?
This is my last question for you guys. With the pandemic exposing that education is flawed
Mhm.
and classroom sizes being one of the major problems, do you see at this moment, when this is done, that they actually get to keep a lot of this online stuff and start closing some schools to decrease the classroom sizes?
Of course, I think when you begin to look at this is a new model that they have access to play with. There's a school district out there right now that's going to be the guinea pig for what a successful online education looks like in Peach 12. Number one, you have to realize higher education has already went through the process of becoming online education. P12 was just on its way. It was just moving very slow. But now you're in the process of seeing it happen live in action. The advice I would give to all teachers right now is your time to be creative because the creative person that can get the result will be the winner at the end of this race. So don't be fooled by saying that they're not watching. No, you're not going to be fired, but yes, they are watching. So be creative and go to where your students are. Stop waiting on your students to come to you because if you wait for them, you're going to fail. So that's my advice to the teachers.
All right, let's close it out, man. Dr. Candace,
All right. What you want?
we're closing it out, baby. Final statement.
Oh, I thought we had more tea.
Hey,
Okay.
that wasn't my final statement. You have to let me come back with my final statements. Not just playing.
No, you know what? Let's let Elvante. Let's do it in the order that we always do. Let Elvante, then me, then you.
Okay, you guys. On a serious note, number one, let's start holding our elected officials accountable. Hey, Candace can't be out here on the front lines by herself. Monroe can't be on the front lines by themselves, holding people accountable. Now more than ever, we have to hold each other accountable to make sure that we get the results that we want. Now is the time to get everything that you want out of every elected official. We demand change today. Secondly, keep your butt at home. The pandemic is not over. We're still in this bio war right now. So, hey, put your mask on because that is saying it's airborne. Now, if a person talks to you or breathe on you, you can catch the coronavirus. So, also stay out the hospital, man, the best you can because if you go to the hospital, they're gonna put a needle in you. You don't really know what's going in your body. All right, because I spoke to a nurse about a week ago, and they said they don't believe the coronavirus is what's actually killing people. They believe what's killing people is what they're trying to stop the virus. So be careful with what you allowing them to put in your body. And that's what I'm gonna close with. Hey, take care of yourself and be safe.
Okay. Well, what I would like to say is number one, you jokers, you know who you are in Fort Bend County. Quit breaking the law. Now, people that are watching, Elvante is absolutely correct. You need to make sure that you hold your elected officials accountable if it's good or if it's bad, because you can't get mad when you don't vote. You can't get mad when you don't hold them accountable because, see, the job that I'm doing is actually giving you a sound evidence to where you can make a sound decision when it's time for you to go to those voting polls. Okay. One thing that you want to make sure you want to do as well, again, with this coronavirus, this stuff is serious. Okay. This stuff can sit on surfaces for like 72 hours and you can contaminate your whole household. then of course, again, it is airborne. Then on top of that, if you do not have the protective mask, you need to get it because it's going to get worse before it gets better. And use common sense, okay? Don't go bring your ass out there and then don't be over here listening to certain elected officials who gonna lie to your ass. Use common sense and take care of your family and take care of yourself. We love you.
I'm gonna close it out with this here. You know what you should and should not be doing right now. If you're trying to get to the upper room, go to church Sunday. When you start coughing and you can't breathe, I hope the Holy Spirit or whoever was in that church with you, especially the crooked pastor, can help save your life. You better keep doing what you're doing. As far as me, you know what it is every night. Fuck Sylvester Turner, fuck Rodney Ellis, fuck Donald Trump, and fuck Greg Abbott. That's how I feel. It's not enough testing sites, not enough people in Texas getting tested fast enough. And as you can see, the more that they're testing people, the more our numbers are going up. And we're starting to exceed people. So if you can, sit your behind still and don't do anything that you shouldn't be doing. And tomorrow night, it's going down, man. Kareem Griggs preach from the Netflix series All American in the War Zone. On behalf of my good friend Elvante Patton, the good doctor, Candace Matthews, I am the 5-star general. Y'all know what it is, man. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock.
Can I have one more thing real quick? Don't leave Elvante. Elvante, I need one more thing. Brother Gary, can you turn off your theme music real quick? I just need to hear one more theme song. In light of the alleged Daryl Smith, I need to hear that song.
We can't do that.
We can't.
We can't do that. They'll
Okay.
block our videos.
Okay.
We'll holler at y'all tomorrow night, man.